What's up all you Instacart shoppers out there? I'm Chad the Gig Economist, and this video is the first in a three-part series of tutorials designed to walk you through the Instacart shopper app so you know what to expect on your first day as full-service shopper. This tutorial series isn't about speed tips and life hacks, but about familiarizing yourself with the shopper app and the essentials of the job. If you're watching this, I'm going to assume you've already got your hours scheduled and you have all the necessary tools to do the job. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch my videos about those topics before you watch this one. So if you've got your hours scheduled and you're ready, willing, and able to start working for Instacart, let me show you what you need to know before you even get started with your first batch. Before you get started, make sure you have notifications turned on for the shopper app. I would select every type of alert and enable sounds. The app doesn't use badges yet. For banner style, make sure you set it to persistent so the notifications will stay on your screen until you acknowledge them. You'll never miss a batch offer with persistent banners, even if you don't hear the notification chime. Another thing you should do before every shift is make sure your phone is fully charged, because the shopper app drains the battery like a sieve. You can slow this down by closing out all other apps and setting your phone to low power mode for your entire shift. You can also connect your phone to a portable charger while you shop as an extra precaution. Instacart will send you a reminder about your upcoming shift about a half hour ahead of time. Make sure you have the shopper app launched within the first 5 minutes of your shift, or you'll receive an error that the GPS can't find you. This is a normal error, just launch the app and you'll be fine. Once you're on shift, with the app open, you'll see your location as a green dot on a map. You can move the map around and zoom in and out to see the boundaries of your zone. If it's busy, you'll see hotspots around stores that are receiving a lot of orders. I actually don't recommend going straight to one of the hotspots when your shift first starts, unless you're really far away from the closest store. At some point into your shift, which could be 5 seconds, 30 minutes, or a few hours, Instacart will send you a batch offer that has all the basics of the order that they want you to shop. Once you launch the shopper app, you'll hear a beeping sound and see a 4-minute countdown timer. You'll also see a map showing where you are, where the store is, and where the customer is. If you tap on the store or the house icon, it'll show you the address for those places. I recommend moving the map so that the customer's address is at the top, then pull up on the batch offer so you can see all the pertinent details. Take a screenshot of this and save it for future reference. The most obvious detail will be the earnings estimate in large, bold numbers. Yes, it's an estimate, not a guarantee. The only thing that's guaranteed is Instacart's portion of the payment. The customer's tip can fluctuate by a few cents or a few dollars, depending on changes made to their order. If you do an amazing job, they might bump their tip way up, or if you do a terrible job, they might pull their tip altogether. If they rate you 5 stars, Instacart will give you a $3 quality bonus, but only on full service orders, not on delivery only orders. In the next section, you'll see what type of batch this is. Most of the time, it's a single full-service order, but sometimes Instacart will piggyback 2 or even 3 small orders together in one batch. It might also be a delivery-only order or orders. I'll make a video showing you how to handle double and triple full-service orders and double and triple delivery-only orders, but don't worry about those right now. Next, it will tell you how many unique items you have to shop for and how many total items you need to pick. Pay attention to this because it gives you a good idea of how long it's going to take to shop that order, and you can decide whether the pay is worth it or not. The next line will tell you the distance from the store to the customer. Instacart pays you 60 cents a mile from the store to the customer. If there's a closer store to you and it's partnered with Instacart, you can shop there if you want, but Instacart will not comp you for the additional mileage. So take a good look at the map screen and decide whether the mileage to the store is worth it, because those miles are on you. Also, consider the location of the customer. If the customer is way out in the middle of nowhere, you have to deadhead all the way back to the nearest affiliated store, and all those miles are on you too. Then there are a few optional items. If there's a shortage of shoppers and or an abundance of orders, you might see a peak boost included. You'll also notice a flame icon next to the batch earnings estimate. Don't feel obligated to take every batch offer with a peak boost. Not all of them are worth your time and mileage. Once in a while, you'll see yet another line that says heavy order pay included, which means this customer is ordering heavy items like cases of bottled water or kitty litter. The problem is, unlike the peak boost, Instacart doesn't indicate how much the heavy order pay actually is. In fact, they don't have any documentation in the Shopper Help Center that explains how this pay is calculated. It's totally cryptic. So think of heavy order pay included more of a warning than anything else. Finally, you will see preview pictures of all the items the customer ordered at the bottom of the screen. Scroll through these items on every batch offer, no matter how few or how many items the customer wants. Specifically look for deli and prepared food items because they will affect how you'll plan your shopping route, and I'll explain why in the next video. If you've decided to accept the batch offer, just tap the big green button at the bottom. Once you do this, you're now obligated to complete the shopping and or delivery. There's no way to cancel a batch after you've accepted it, so only take batches you know you can handle and will be worth your time for the pay being offered. If you change your mind, you can try calling Shopper Happiness and ask them to unassign you from the batch, but most of the time they won't unless it's an emergency. Accepting the batch will bring you to another screen that will show you the name and address of the store. If you tap the button next to it, this will launch your designated GPS app and send you on your way. You'll also see the customer's first name and how many orders they've placed with Instacart. If it's their first order, you'll see a gold star with new customer next to it. Along the bottom is another button you swipe to start shopping. Don't swipe it until you're inside the store and you've got your cart ready. Once you do, send your customer your welcome message by going to the top right corner and tapping the text icons, then paste it in the chat. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out my video about the 3 messages you should send to every customer in every batch. By the way, you usually have 1 hour from the time you accept the batch until the time you swipe to start shopping. Instacart will send you a reminder after 30 minutes urging you to get started. They'll send you a final notice around 50 minutes. If you go 60 or sometimes 70 minutes without actually starting on the batch, you'll be unassigned from the batch and you'll be kicked off shift and you'll receive a reliability incident. If you tap ready to shop immediately after this happens and you go the rest of your shift without any other incidents, that RI will be forgiven. But if this happens either at the end of your shift or if it happens after like 8 p.m., you won't have the option of going back online and you'll be stuck with that RI. If you don't want the batch you're being offered, there isn't much you can do. Obviously, you could just not touch anything and let the timer count down to 0. The problem is that even if you switch to another app, you'll still hear that sonar-like beeping sound, and it's really annoying. The better option is to just kill the Shopper app entirely. This will mute the countdown sound, but you'll still have to wait for the timer to run out. Once it does, you'll see a notification that the batch has been removed. In either case, the app will ask why you didn't accept the batch offer. I recommend selecting other and use keywords and phrases like pay too low or mileage too high, and of course, no tip. The closest thing Instacart has to a decline button is the take a break button in the top left. You only get to use this once per shift, so use it wisely. This will put you on break for 20 minutes, which means you won't be offered any batches during that time, and you can still use the Shopper app if you want to check earnings or hours or whatever. Like I said, this was just the first in a trilogy of video tutorials to prepare you for your first day. In the next installment, I'm going to show you shopping route strategies using the Shopper app to pick items and how to handle standard changes. Then the final installment, I'll go over the checkout process, loading your car, and actually completing the delivery. Of course, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of my future Instacart videos. While you're here, why not check out some of my past Instacart videos or my videos on the other gig economy platforms like Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Postmates, and Amazon Flex. As always, I appreciate every viewer out there, so thanks for watching, and I will see you real soon.